Let's go.
Welcome to episode number 9. Big number 9 for this guy right here, Isaiah. How are we doing today? There's a lot going on. It's hailing outside. It's hailing
Yeah, it's been
outside
it's been a rough day for me. I went
here in
outside without a
Massachusetts.
jacket on. I got smoked in New York, so this is like a nationwide event right now.
This is a nationwide event. He's eating some more applesauce as he's doing, which is pretty awesome. Love applesauce. I got a month left of my freshman year of college. Uh, a month from
So do
today.
I, buddy. Don't forget. Me too.
You too. So it's been kind of a wild ride. So we're getting hyped. We're getting excited. But it also means a new season is coming into play. And a season I think is, in my opinion, my favorite season. And so far, my favorite season because it's looking pretty good for my favorite team right now. And yours too, to be completely honest. The Tigers are off to a hot start. Baseball is back. Opening day was last week, and now teams are heating up. The Mets are off to a rough start, but we're going to go through just our takeaways, our thoughts, our ideas surrounding the season thus far. So, obviously, the Yankees have been doing well, but I want to talk
Wait,
about the
can I?
Tigers.
Yeah, can I? Yeah, I want to hop in and talk about the Tigers. Let me just say. Let me finish my applesauce really quick. Let me just say, the Tigers. I every year in the beginning of the year, me and my father's a big Tigers fan. We always talk about the Tigers, and I'm always more positive than he is, and he is very negative. He's like, end of the season, they're going to be bad. This year, he seemed way more positive. I mean, Jack Flaherty carved. I believe it was the White Sox. It might have been it was the White Sox. He carved. Jack Flaherty, probably his worst year of his career last year, carved. The Tigers have proved that they can create pitching prospects. They did Max Scherzer, Verlander, David Price pitched very well in the Tigers. And I mean, honestly, I know you like your bullet take, a little bit of a bullet take. I'm taking Screwball as a Cy Young right now. I think that he's the first lefty, first prospect they've had, first homegrown pitcher they've had starting opening day in the last 5 years, which is a big deal for Tigers, especially myself. Huge deal. And I was the last guy since Verlander. And I mean, I'm really excited for Screwball. They can't say a lot about either teams they've played so far. They've played the Mets, who are horrible, White Sox, who are horrible, and they're close-ish games, but they're winning games. They went to an extra inning game with the Mets. It was 0-0, and they scored five in the 10th. Like, these are guys, like, their hitting is good, but they're getting hits from guys who I've never heard about. The team looks really, really good. The pitching looks really good. I'm really excited to see Casey Mize come back and pitch this week. The games got canceled because of the crazy storm, but the Tigers are looking really good. I think that division's it's up to them now how much they really want, but they're looking really good. Miles, do you have any comments with the Tigers so far?
Yeah, the Tigers looking fresh, man. I'm impressed. I was like kind of looking at it, and it's like the Tigers are in first place of the AL Central. They're like, okay, maybe what I said about the Tigers a few weeks ago was a little too harsh. Um, and I think one thing to take note of is people are going to say, look, oh, they're playing the White Sox, they're playing the Mets, they're going to play a 3-game series against the Oakland Athletics later next week. So, literally, two of the worst teams in the league are
Three,
in
I
the
would
first
say.
stretch. Really,
Yeah,
three, I would say, at this point.
yeah.
And you know, it's still a good thing though. Wins are wins. No matter who they're playing, a win is a win. So if they start their season, let's see, they lose one of the Mets and they sweep the Athletics. Now they're sitting at 8-1 to start the year. Momentum's a real thing, and then you're coming into some hot teams like the Pirates, the Twins, the Rays, and the Rangers. They look really strong. They look like a really strong team. And again, they win those games. It's very close games, but they're winning them. They're winning them strongly. And I think Tigers teams of the past haven't really won those games, but now they are. And there's a lot of youth movement going on in Detroit. There's a lot to really look forward to in terms if you're a Tigers fan like yourself.
Yeah. I
Um,
mean, I want to hop in right before we talk about the Tigers anymore and just say, like, I believe the three teams that are undefeated right now are Tigers, who were very, very bad last year. The Pittsburgh Pirates were very, very bad last year. And then the Milwaukee Brewers, who had a horrible offseason, and their biggest highlight's been their rookie sensation. So I want to say that
well,
those three
they
teams.
lost the Twins today, but still pretty impressive.
Oh, they did?
Yeah.
Okay, well, before today, but those three teams, like, and the Yankees, like, that's big company, especially if you make the Tigers. The Tigers are starting Colt Keith, I believe, at second base now. So as a rookie starting. So I mean, on all three of the teams that were starting today with the undefeated teams, they're rookies starting on every single team. So I mean, youth movement's a big deal. And I mean, you're a Yankees fan. Like Dominguez is going to be up later in the year. I think we are finally seeing, sadly, the end of the baseball we grew up watching. I mean, Miggy's gone, Molina's gone, Wainwright's gone. We're going to see Kershaw gone in a few years. I think we're seeing the next generation of baseball. I mean, Torkelson had a great year last year. Riley Green had a great year last year. Skubal. I mean, as I get back to the Tigers too, like Tigers youth movement is there. I think they're going to be huge buyers of the deadline. I think the Tigers are going to get somebody that no one sees coming. They're going to steal someone out from somebody else.
Alex
I think it's
Bregman, you
really good to
think?
do for the Tigers. Bregman, I can see a Bieber. I can see in division Bieber. I could see. I'm trying to think. Like I could see a Willie Adames pickup, get him at like
Wow.
move bias to third base.
Wow.
Like I could see
Okay.
those are guys I always name, but those are the top guys in the market right now. And I mean, I could see a Nick Castellanos reunion. I could see a Chris Bryant try to get him in there like a good righty bat. There's so many possibilities for this Tigers team. I'm really excited how opening the week is gone. And I mean, yeah, but I want to bounce it to you with your favorite team, the Yankees. They started off very well, struggled a little bit, but they're looking really, really well right now. So, any comments on them?
Uh, there's a lot of comments I have about the New York Yankees. This is the best start I've seen since I became a baseball fan for the New York Yankees. You're going on the road against the team that has generally owned you for the past 4 or 5 years in the Houston Astros. Not only do you go into Houston, you sweep Houston off of their home turf. Not only sweep Houston, the thing I liked about these games is they're not relying on the home run ball. They're getting sac flies, they're getting singles, they're getting bunts, they're getting a lot of easy runs, just runs across the plate, which is something I really have been screaming at the TV for. Like, I don't need a 450-foot Stanton home run. It's the same amount of runs as an Oswaldo Cabrera single. You know what I mean? Like it's the same run scored. I understand
Yeah.
that, it's cool to see Stanton go really deep or it's cool to see a big home run, whatever. Doesn't matter to me. All I need is runs and wins. That's all that the Yankees should be worrying about right now. And that's what they're doing. And Juan Soto has had probably one of the best starts I've ever seen.
He
You can
was the
see
player of the week last week in
you
MLB. He
can
was the
see
AL player of the
the
week.
yeah, you can see the amount of energy he brings to this Yankees team with the backwards hat and he just gets on base. He gets on base. He either walks or he singles. That's all he does. Walks, singles, home run. And a walk is fine with me because then guess who's coming up next in that order? Judge Rizzo. So even if he does walk and let's say he's on first and Judge strikeouts, you still have Rizzo up there or vice versa. You know what I mean? And then they
Yeah.
go to Arizona and they had their first, pretty crappy loss last night. They lost 7-0. It was one of those like whatever Yankees looks like crap losses.
Did they win today?
They won today. They won. They were down. I think they were down too. They were
They
down
were. Yeah, I
nothing,
did see that.
and then extra inning game. So pretty
Hmm.
awesome with the Yankees. But then you get again the Diamondbacks. They're a team that they won the NL pennant last year. They went to the World Series last year. 6-1 starting on the road for any team is hard, but in particular against the Houston Astros and then the Arizona Diamondbacks, that's a really impressive start for any team.
I mean, I just want to hop in and say, so I think Yankees look really good, but my biggest takeaway is that Houston really didn't look that good. I was watching Hater highlights the last like week of opening week. Hater did not look good, and Hater did not do well against the Yankees. And he did not do well against I don't know who they're. I think they're playing. They're not playing San Diego. Whoever they're playing this series, he's not doing
Blue
well.
Jays,
So
yeah.
yeah, I'm really not like Yankees win. The sweep of Houston was a big deal. The sweep was a big deal, but Houston doesn't look that strong. It did have that no hitter last week or this week. Sorry, a couple days ago. That was a big deal, but didn't really do a lot. Again, without Garrett Cole, Yankees pitching is like so-so. It's good. Don't say it's I'm not. It's not bad, but it's so-so. And they do. Sorry, hitters are only doing anything against it. I mean, Arizona, Zach Gallen. Yes, he's going to be a perennial Cy Young candidate. He's very good. I believe he had 6 shutout against the Yankees. But as you said, like Juan Soto's doing his job. Those team has to do their jobs. If they want to win games, especially one of the hardest divisions in baseball, they got to hit the pitching and they got to hit guys like Zach Gallen. Hader is still an amazing pitcher, but not at his best. And they showed that. They proved that Hader is not the guy who Houston probably wanted to sign, but they still hit him well. But they got to hit guys like Gallen. They got to hit the aces. And I mean, I hate to say it, but they look like a really strong team. I think like the Tigers are going to be a big buyer at the deadline. I think they're going to try to make some moves. Definitely go for pitching, especially Garrett Cole out. Definitely go for pitching. I believe Rodon. You can quote me on this or check me on this. Rodon did do good today.
He did all right. I mean, he
Yeah,
pitched. like again, wins or wins. He pitched 5.1 innings with 7 hits and 2 earned runs. So not
Yeah.
bad. But
7 hits
then
and 2 earned
also the
runs.
thing is
That's
though,
honestly not that bad.
also the
Well,
thing is at the beginning of the year, the way pitchers are used is very different than the middle and the end of the year. When your starters don't go 7.5 innings in the beginning of the year, starters go 7.5 innings by the end of the year. So yeah,
yeah.
like, and it's also you got to look at it in terms of how the offensive output looks, right? I went to a game where CC Sabathia had a very similar stat line, and the Yankees were winning 10-2, and everyone's like, CC had a great game. CC pitched awesome. And then like another game, the Yankees were losing 2-0, and it's like CC did not pitch well at all.
Yeah.
He allowed 2 runs. It just depends on what the offense can do with them.
I agree with you.
Um, but Rodon pitched pretty well against
Yeah.
Houston. He worked himself into trouble a lot in both games. That's just kind of what he does. It's like one of those like heart attack things where he'll load the bases with one man out, and you're just like, oh God, here we go. Like this is the Yankees we love and remember from last year, and then he's like grounded to double play or strikeout pop up type thing. You know what I mean? So as long as he gets the job done and doesn't allow runs across the plate, it's fine with me. But I think another takeaway is just to realize, and I don't like pooping on the Mets a lot, but man, they look bad. They looked
Sorry. The
terrible.
Mets. I'm sorry. I know my friend Ashton watches this. The Mets suck, everybody. Like the Mets really like there's no like okay, Cody's saying when Cody's saying is back, there's a future, but I think Pete Alonso's gone after this year. The team looks really bad. They still have Edwin Diaz, but the team looks really bad. Another team I want to talk about in that division who's been really bad. I haven't watched any games, so I'll be honest, but Miami's
Marlins.
0-7. Yeah,
Oh,
Miami's
7.
0-7. What is going on in this division? Bryce Harper is playing really well. He carried me in fantasy last night, but the Mets really stink. I don't even know where to start. Like the hitting's not there, the pitching's not there. They got diced. Diced by Freddie Peralta on opening day. Then there's that whole thing with Reese Hoskins and Jeff
That
McNeil,
was
the old rivalry.
ridiculous. That was
It
not a
was
hard
ridiculous
slide at all.
until the next game when Hoskins had like a home run and 3 RBIs. Like it's
Yeah.
all fun and games. You can talk all you want until that guy like bombs your team. Then you're done.
Yeah, no, but I was saying like the slide I thought was
Yeah.
mostly clean. Like, sure, he slid in hard. There's no denying that. But it wasn't anything where I thought he was lifting his leg out or going anything crazy. I think McNeil had a bit of an overreaction. I think there's also history though with the Mets and Reese Hoskins with him being on the Phillies too. So that's probably what sparked it all. But the
The
Mets
Mets are a
also,
joke.
I've been watching
The
a
Mets are
lot
a
of Frank the
joke.
Tank this week, like already. You know what I mean? Like he's
Yeah.
just losing his mind already, and everyone's laughing at the Mets. But this is a team that literally has the highest payroll in baseball.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I
Like,
will say the highlight has been Seymour Wiener. That is an amazing Army. Congrats to him. Do you know Seymour Wiener?
he's the boy, yeah.
Seymour Wiener was featured at a Mets game, so that's
Yeah.
great to see. But the Mets, as that shows, like high as my husband was saying before I interrupted, Mets are the highest payroll in baseball. They have Lindor, could be a Hall of Famer.
Where was
Cody
Lindor?
Singh is
Where was
really good.
Lindor during these
Yeah,
four
like
games? Not here.
dude,
Where was JD
they just
Martinez?
got like
Not here.
we predicted what we had the Brewers 4-3 and yeah, we think we had 4-3 in the NL Central. And I
Yeah.
mean, this is like an embarrassing output for the Mets. Like, yes, it's early in the year. Yes, it's really early. It's been what opening week was this week. But I mean, I think every single game matters. Every single game, every divisions are counted by who has the most wins. And when you're off like to a start like this, the season does not look good. As you're gonna get down in the dumps early, it's really hard to come back from this until maybe All-Star break. And by then it might be too late for this franchise.
Now, to be fair, they're only 2.5 games behind the Braves for first place, even at 0-4, which is doesn't sound like a lot, but you're already digging yourself in the hole of where to catch up, and you're already like, freaking out about how the season's gone, kind of crappy already. So that's not what you want to see if you're a New York Mets fan. Another team I want to talk about, uh, the Rockies are
Can I,
really,
can I can I talk about the team real quick?
yeah,
Did you watch the Dodgers game last night?
I did not, but it looks pretty close. Wow.
Logan Webb is a very good pitcher, and this Dodgers team is legit. I was not. I know we talked. I know you had them third place in the NL West, but this Dodgers team is so good. Mookie Betts is off to a crazy, crazy start to the year. Freddie Freeman's off to a pretty good start. Max Muncy's doing good. Otani's doing good. But this team is so good. They have so many bats. James Outman is in there. Gavin Lux. PK Hernandez was hitting ninth, and he's still a very, very good hitter. This team is legit. They're only gonna get better throughout the year.
Yeah,
I'm
when
hearing
Enrique
Roki
Hernandez is
Sasaki
pitching
rumors too. Like,
ninth, like when when Hernandez is pitching is hitting ninth in your lineup, that's a good roster because he can be 1, 2, 3 on many teams. You know what I mean?
I would say 80% of the league, he's gonna be a top four hitter. In
Yeah, absolutely.
80% of the league, except for a team that is as good as the Dodgers. Will Smith,
Like a
like
Yankees or an Astros or something. Yeah.
this team is so good. And not even like they're good on paper, but they're hitting the ball really well. They're pitching. Yesterday was a bullpen game for them, and it was still a very good game. I didn't watch all of that. I watched enough to see like
I don't
these
like
guys
the
are
bullpen
legit.
game stuff. I've never been a huge fan of a bullpen game.
I mean, I'm a reliever, so I have to love the bullpen game, but I'm not a huge fan either. I remember I've seen it a lot in the playoffs, but I'm like
Every
I
time
feel like
the
it's mostly
Yankees
for
have done
yeah.
it, it never worked. It seemed like waving a red flag a little bit whenever they did a bullpen game. Because it's like, all right, you'll just put in like middle reliever guys for like 2 or 3 innings and like work them. But then you're putting a lot of pressure on the starter in the next game to like go 6 or 7 innings. And if they have a terrible game,
Yeah.
let's say like Cole gets knocked in the first inning of the, back to back, game one was a bullpen game. Game two was, I don't know. You get what I'm saying though?
No, I do what you're saying. I
Yeah.
think that especially for a team like the Yankees, bullpen games are really important because those teams with really good bullpens, you need to keep up that level. And if you have guys who like last year in the Yankees, like Michael King, you had oh my God, Clay Holmes, you need to give those guys innings no matter where it comes from. So bullpen games, I can agree with you. Like they're not my favorite thing ever. I like having a starter, reliever, closer. I like that system, like the setup, but like those bullpen games are important, especially for developing teams. And I mean, all the contenders we talk about are all like that's where baseball's changed a lot. Yes, the Dodgers put a lot of money into their players and have infinite money, but those teams are developing guys so well. The Yankees, in my opinion, are probably the worst developing players, and they're still so good. I think Jason Dominguez, I think if Soto leaves, Dominguez will be a perennial MVP candidate and will be starting every single game for that for the Yankees.
Soto
I
can't
think
leave.
he could be better than
Soto can't
Judge.
leave. Soto can't leave. Like, if the Yankees lose Soto, they're losing the best player in the world because right now Soto is outperforming any contract given. They're like, now we're talking, the people are talking about giving him Ohtani type money. You know what I mean? Like,
Hmm.
he's that good. So,
Hmm.
you know, maybe not exactly Ohtani's contract because that is almost $1 billion.
Yeah.
But I mean, the Yankees have some. They got to win now, and so they're going to be
Yeah.
buying a lot at the deadline. They're going to be making a lot of weird, strong moves. The Yankees are playing the Blue Jays on Friday, home opener. Pretty exciting actually. But yeah, I mean, that's the thing. Like, it's really early in the year, so sure, like the Giants are 2-4, but like they're also playing the Dodgers. Like, it's you got to give some teams a little bit of a break based on who they're playing. The Tigers, I know the Tigers are off to a hot start, but they are playing the Mets and the White Sox. They're not playing the cream of the crop just yet. So I don't really feel comfortable giving, you know, the Tigers their full props yet, or even the Astros being as bad as they were. They were facing a tough Yankees team. They're going to bounce back. Like, this is an Astros team that'll win 5 of the next 6 games and be right back up there with the Rangers. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
so the starts are always really weird of a base in the baseball season. Like, there's always a ton of weird shit going on. Like the Red Sox have been really hot too. But again, they don't really freak me out because they're playing the Athletics and they're like sweeping the Athletics. It's like, okay, cool. Like,
Yeah.
you should
Speaking
be
of the Athletics, like, did you see that they sent out Esty Ruiz?
like, I don't understand what's going on. They're waving the white flag for seemingly no reason. They know they're going to be bad. They want to be a bad baseball team. The Oakland Athletics
I've
want to
never
be a
seen
bad
like a
baseball team.
tank like yeah, I've never seen tanking like this. Like baseball's such a weird sport with tanking where it's like the guy you draft number one won't come up for like 2 or 3 years. Like
Yeah.
it doesn't make sense to tank at all. Like you don't want to be last, but you don't want to be like show no effort. SC Rose had a very good opening series. Okay, not very good, but very good for the A's. And he's a really good center fielder. Not the greatest hitter, but steals a lot of bases, will get you on base enough at the time. Like you've nobody. Can you name another hitter on the A's? Most of you probably can't unless you're an A's fan. Because I don't know anybody. They have a great starting pitcher who was a rookie. I think he's a rookie this year. He came debut last year, but they have potential. and they're just throwing it away for tanking. Like it's embarrassing. It's embarrassing to watch as a fan. I mean, they had 3,000 people at their opening day. Like, come on, guys. Just fans. I feel bad for the fans. The organization is just so poorly run.
I've watched a lot of New York Giants football,
Ha!
um, and I've seen a lot of tanking in the past few years. But this takes the cream of the crop, literally sending. And it's like I understand it if you're like, all right, you're 65 and 100, and you're about to end the season, and you're like, at this point, there's no point. Let's just give this guy some AAA reps, whatever. You're literally at the beginning of the year. This is 7 games in. Couldn't ask more from the kid. And then also, what does it tell the players on the Athletics? Like, we want to lose. We don't want to win games. We just want to play baseball to play baseball. Do you think those players in that clubhouse are going to be motivated? Do you think those players in AAA are going to be motivated? Do you think the entire organization of the players are going to be motivated to win games? Their AAA team is literally outselling their Major League Baseball team, which
Yeah,
is ridiculous.
yeah. I
You,
want to say too. I forgot to say everybody. Brent Rooker is also a very good player for the A's, but it still doesn't help the fact of like Miles is a Yankees fan. I'm a Tigers fan. Like there's like even at both those teams, good or bad, they have a future. The A's have zero future right now. They're trying to get that first pick. No future's incoming. I mean, it's just so sad. It's so sad to see like how much the organization really hates this team. Like sending down probably maybe it's not your best player, but one of your better players for no reason, like it doesn't help. Like at this point, just keep him up. Let him get that experience. Let him face where he'll be pitching. Maybe he won't be at superstar, but you need somebody. They need an all-star every year. Give it to him. Let him play with the best. Like it's insane.
I think, you know, the part that people aren't talking about is when you send a kid down like that, it doesn't just hurt the organization, it hurts their career. Because now let's say he has a great season, he's pitching really well. Teams are going to buy at the deadline, and a team like the Yankees or the Rangers or the Astros, even the Tigers might swoop in and say, hey, we're interested in this player. We'll give you some money. We'll give you a few prospects. Go for it. If this guy has no major league reps, but played a few strong games at the beginning of the year, he's not going to get moved. He's not going to get traded. So this is like sort of a power move of like, we're going to keep this guy and we're going to do whatever the hell we want with this, but we're not going to give him MLB reps. It just bothers me. It's just kind of a lose-lose situation either way. And again, like let's go through the players' names that like this is insane. I'm looking through the A's roster right now. You ever heard of Zach Geloff or Brent Rooker or
I actually have heard of Zach Gelov.
Alex Wood,
Only thing might be the show.
JD Davis,
Okay, I actually have heard of these people.
Ross Stripling is on the A's.
Oh, I actually have heard of all these players. Jesus.
Ryan, well
Okay,
now I'm like now I've heard of him, but I'm like, why? How are they on the
yeah,
A's? Like I don't like what the heck.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. How are these players in the either way? The
JP
A's are
Sears,
not doing
Yankees
good.
legend JP Sears,
Wow.
Mitch Spence, Paul Blackburn, Tyler Nevin, Phil Nevin's son. Um, who else? Kyle Muller. Like, I don't know. Who are these people?
It's
Paul,
gonna be a long, long year for A's fans. I think the
who
AL
the hell is
West is
this guy?
now so just it's so stacked. The AL West is so stacked. Yes, Trout's back, but the Angels don't got shit. Like that's just a fact. The Angels won't do shit. A's won't do anything. It's really between how the Mariners, Rangers were number one in the league record wise right now. Or no, right now, yeah, I think they're number one in the league record wise right now.
Yeah.
Let me actually want to check that out, Miles. Are the Rangers number one? Who's leading the MLB in record right now?
Record.
Or
Let's
over who's the best in the MLB right now today?
well percentage. If going by percentage, it's going to be the Tigers and the Pirates because they're undefeated.
Hmm.
Um, but other than that, it would be behind that would be let's see, it would be the Yankees.
Okay, well, sorry, I was wrong. It's not the Rangers, but the Rangers are still a
The
very,
Rangers are
very
four
good
and two.
team.
They're off to a good start. But to be
Yeah,
fair,
they're gonna make a very big impact this year.
I'm telling you, the Cubs are going to have a good season. I just feel it.
The Cubs are looking good. Do you have any comments with the Cubs? You sound like you were saying some
Oh,
more.
I mean, like, great. I mean, to be fair, they're playing the Rockies, and so the Rockies are not a great year, but they've been dominating the Rockies. They, only lost one game. They lost two out of the three against the Rangers, but the Rangers again were the World Series champs, so you can't really give. They have a hard schedule to open the year. Wow, look at this. Rangers, Rockies, yeah, they're going to sweep them. They're already up 4-0. Dodgers, Cubs, Padres, Mariners, D-backs. Like these are tough teams to, go right out of the gate with. So they already have that, winning for as of now, winning record will be 4-2, hopefully by the end of the night and at the end of this recording. But I think the Cubs are going to be legit. I don't know. I still feel that in me. I think the Pirates are off to a really strong start. I think that NL Central is going to be super interesting to watch because I think any of these teams realistically could win the division. I think, maybe not, but even the Pirates. I think the Pirates could win now because they're already off to such a good start. Like they're playing the Marlins, the Nationals, but wins are wins at the end of the day.
Yeah.
And O'Neal
I mean,
Cruz
I have to
is really
agree with you.
good.
Yeah, like I'm not feeling as confident in Cincy anymore. I'm really looking towards like the Cubs. Really, like I think I had them too. I think the Cubs are really like they have to see. They just have to fight. Actually, no, sorry. Milwaukee and Chicago. Milwaukee, Chicago, and Pittsburgh. I think are fighting for it. I think Milwaukee's showed me that they can compete for it. They won't do anything. Jackson Chirino looks really, really good. Very, very sound. Getting lots of contact, lots of barrels. Looks really good. And he's so young still. He's the dude. He was born the same year I am. That's how crazy this kid is. Like
We
this,
are
me and
getting
this kid are
old,
almost
dude.
the
We're getting
same.
old.
Yeah, yeah. It's nuts,
I'm
but
like meeting people here at school and like whatever. It's like, oh, when I was 18, I was doing this. And I'm like, whatever. We're still very accomplished in our own way, but at the same time,
yeah,
you
dude.
know,
I mean, time flies, man. It's a new era of baseball right now. And I mean, I think we're seeing. I think you talked about Juan Soto. Like Juan Soto's a youngish guy. He's been around for like 7 or 8 years, but he's still like 25, 26. Maybe a little older than that, but he still has a lot of life left. And I mean, teams like that's what you build around. It's whoever signs Juan Soto in the next couple of years is going to be probably have one of the better players in baseball 10 years down the line. Like that's how good of a player this guy is.
yeah, Yankees really got to sign Juan Soto. I think that's the biggest free agent move. You can also get players, there's definitely free agents out there. You got, oh, I'm trying to think. For next year, let's do a little bit of research here. 2024 MLB free agents. You ready for this? It's going to be
Let's hear it.
names. Gary Sanchez is a free agent. Well, not that big of a deal. But
Yeah.
Torres, Paul Goldschmidt, Rizzo, Pete Alonso is the big one. Cody Bellinger can opt out of his deal, so that's something we can look at too. Bregman, Chapman could opt out. JD Martinez, Matt Carpenter, Garrett Cole can opt out of his deal. Wow.
I
Uh,
doubt he
I
will
doubt
though.
he would do that though. Blake Snell can opt out. Let's see. Luke Weaver, Jack Flaherty, Luis Severino, Patrick Corbin, Kyle Hendricks, Charlie Morton,
A lot of pitching.
Shane Bieber. Wow. Corbin Burns, Justin Verlander, Max Scherzer. So there's a lot of players. I think, some of them are a little older than others, so it's not really a huge one. And then go to the bullpen, Kenley Jansen, Craig Kimbrell, Adam Ottavino, Chapman, Robertson, Jonathan Loizaga. Oh, that's a big one. Um, Joe Kelly. I feel like I'm getting old though. I'm getting old, dude, because
Yeah.
these players who weren't that big of a deal or were a big of a deal like 2 or 3 years ago are just like at the bottom of the list now. And you're like, oh.
Yeah.
But Pete Alonso, I think, could be an interesting story because I don't think the Mets are he's gonna want to stay with the Mets, I think.
I
Um,
agree with you.
I think you can have a little bit of a situation where maybe the Yankees try to move on from Rizzo and bring in Pete Alonso.
Hmm.
It could be interesting.
Interesting. Yeah. I
Like,
also
I'm just
before you say anything else,
speculating.
sorry too. Yeah. Sorry. Continue. You go. You go. You go.
I mean, if you trade, let's say you don't get Soto, obviously you want Soto. You can move Rizzo, not sign Rizzo, and then get Pete Alonso. So it's still a pretty big bat and still someone who can get the job done. Obviously, you want Juan Soto. That's the main goal. But I think Yankees fans you have to be a little careful. Part of me wants to go out and say 2024 World Series champs, but this is the New York Yankees. You can never, I don't see it until I believe it. Um, but they're off to a really impressive start. And one of those starts where I'm like, the vibes feel different, the team feels different. and it's just going to be really exciting in a tough division too. So I think they're playing the Blue Jays, and then they're also playing Tampa and the Blue Jays again. So I'm going to be at the Red Sox game on April 11th against the
Really? Going down?
yeah
Is it in Boston?
yeah on
Oh,
Fenway Park, little business day.
um,
So it should be fun.
I see you. I really want to talk about too is Garrett Crochet. I played Garrett Crochet in the MLB The Show 21. Amazing player in the show. I carved everybody with him, but this is his first. He was an opening day starter this year. First two starts looked really good for Garrett Crochet. Big left-handed guy, throws the ball really hard, really good slider, really good cutter, really good fastball. I mean, I think we're talking about pitching. Like, this is the future. This is what Dylan Cease was like traded for. This is the future of the White Sox. He looked really, really good in his two starts. Granted, they weren't playing the best of teams, but he's still carving. Like,
Yeah.
when you shove, you shove. And I mean, I'm really excited to see the rest of his year goes. I still think Screwball is gonna be the best player in that division, but Crochet's an ace right now. Crochet is an ace. I mean, I'm trying to think pitching for the rest of the MLB.
Two games already, 1-1 record with a 1.38 ERA,
Yeah,
13 innings pitched, and a 16 strikeout. So he's
yeah. What's
really
his name?
impressive stuff.
Corbin Burns had a great opening day too. He
Yeah.
carved everybody, but that's what he does.
It was funny because when
Um,
Trout hit that first home run, I'm like, this is the guy you're giving all the money to, Corbin Burns.
yeah.
And then I was shut up and humbled right away. Just like, all
Mm.
right, save Corbin Burns,
Yeah,
dude. He's a good
even
pitcher.
Yamamoto really rebounded in his first Dodgers start. I mean, it's still I know we're yapping a lot. We're just talking about our opinions for opening week, but it's really exciting to see how much like teams like it's actually opening week. Like it's what we all can. Me and Miles have been talking about for months. Like
We've been
we
talking
spent
about it since the season ended.
hours, yeah, making
Yeah.
videos about like who's gonna be ranked where. And now they get to see like is Pete Alonso the real deal so far this year? Are the Mets the real deal? No, they might come last in that division if the Marlins don't sell. Like
I
Tigers
think
look legit right now. Yankees honestly could win that division. The Rays don't look super strong, and Baltimore's
here's the thing that
okay.
gets me excited, right? The thing that gets me excited about the Yankees is off to a great start. Is no one, whoever that wins the Central is going to be like the 3 or 4 seed. So that doesn't really matter that much to me. But the Rangers and the Astros are off to a terrible start. Yankees look really strong against them. The Rangers, they've been off to a good start. So I think it's really going to come down to Yankees, Rangers to those, 1 and 2 spots. But if the Yankees get that one spot, that's the thing they've been lacking of going into the championship series. They've always been on the road in Houston, in these championship game series, and home field advantage does play a huge role. So if they can go out and win these 105 games this year, they have a real possibility of being that number 1 seed and earning that home advantage throughout the playoffs, which, if we're saying last year, because people were talking about how last year, these players weren't prepared and they had 3 days off, which is a weird time and it's not fair, which is nonsense in my opinion. But yeah, I think looking crazy into the future. Obviously, a lot can happen. We're just kind of speculating here, but super interesting. Great starts for both of our teams. I'm glad I'm not on here, shouting and screaming and pain and agony like I was a few years ago, maybe where the Yankees blow leads and stuff. But I mean, the Yankees are finding ways to win. The Tigers are finding ways to win. The vibes are great. So
Yeah, I mean, as we talked about before, Juan Soto is such a good player. I mean, him and Lourdes Gurriel won Players of the Week. Yes, it's opening week. Yes, it's been like 5, 6 games. Yes, it's still over 100, like over 150 to go. But every single game matters. We talk about it. Every single game matters. And I mean, Juan Soto, I think as of today, I want to hear this. Actually, this right now. As of today, very, very early. I'll leave it to this during the other videos. Very, very early. Give me your AL, NL, Cy Young, Rookie of the Year, MVP. You start. Give me your AL MVP to start off.
I'm not going to give you the rookie of the year because it's way too early for that. Um, way too early
That's
for
fair,
the
but
rookie
give
of the
me
year.
MVP first then.
MVP,
AL MVP to start, and then I'll go.
AL MVP Juan Soto.
I'm gonna
National
agree with the AL MVP Juan Soto. National League.
National League.
I'm gonna go Mookie Betts for National League MVP right now.
That's a good
Mookie
one. I was
Betts.
gonna say
I'm
Otani
sitting on
be up there
great
too.
start.
Someone on the Dodgers.
Okay.
And then my picks right now for World Series. I'm gonna go ahead and
Wait. Cy Young first. Cy Young. I want to
Cy
hear Cy
Young.
Young first.
I'm not sure I understand.
So I think Corbin, my Apple Watch, bro. I think Corbin Burns has a real shot of winning AL Cy Young this year. He's looked really strong. And then the National League. Oh, this is tough.
As you think, I'm gonna say Tariq Screwball is gonna be
Mhm.
your AL Cy Young. He's gonna have an amazing year. Bring the Tigers their first sling in the last like 6 to 7 years. Have a great
Oh,
season. Bring them
yeah.
to playoffs. And then I'm gonna say Zach Gallen as the NL Cy Young. He continues his dominance the last year. He wins that Cy Young. He shows everyone who the big dog is. And Diamondbacks win. Like actually, yeah, Diamondbacks not win a World Series. Diamondbacks gonna be a very good team this year. Who do you
I'm gonna
think?
go ahead and say Yamamoto wins the NL Cy Young.
Over Gallen over Strider?
I think so. I think so.
Really? So you think he's better than the Rookie of the Year mantra?
I think he could win Rookie of the Year, but it's not about Rookie of the Year for me at that point. It's just, can they win baseball games? I
Mhm.
think you got to be careful
Now,
with Rookie of the Year stuff.
yeah,
He is like a comp, like to me, a Rookie of the Year. Like I understand he can win the Rookie of the Year because it's his first MLB season, but he's been
yeah,
winning games overseas for years and stuff. So
yeah,
it's not like an 18-year-old prospect like the NBA or something like that.
yeah. Now, give me the World Series prediction, and then we'll do our champions. But AL champion, NL champion. Who's going to be in the World
That
Series?
is very briefly because the time's running out, but we are gonna have Yankees, Braves, Yankees in six.
I'm going to say Mariners, Braves, Braves in five.
All right, so Mariners, really?
Dude, I like the Yankees, but the
Three
Yankees
and
improved enough
four,
to me. I know
over
the opening
500,
week, Judges played really well, Stanton's played really well, Soto played really well, but
lost
it's just like
took the series
I
with
don't
the Red
know.
Sox and lost the series to the Guardians. All right,
I have faith.
I'm
I have faith. Don't hate. All right.
not gonna hate. To be fair, I did pick the Giants to win third place or first place in the NL West, so we're
Yeah.
both. But that's gonna do it, everyone. Thank you for hopping in, and remember to like, follow, subscribe, do what you gotta do, and have a blessed night.
We will be seeing you guys for NBA playoff predictions coming up soon. Be ready.
Be right.
Everyone stay ready. Go subscribe to everywhere. Be ready.